Oh, hold on. Come on. There we go. Now I exist. Let me get in on this. Dungeon. Make sure to hit exclamation mark join. Ah, Frax is here. Hello, Frax. Hiya, Blitz. Of course, you know, when I have watermelon in the stream title, it's like the most active starting that I've had in, honestly, a while. Looks like you were just a little too late, Stork. But of course, I do not see watermelon. I still need to go change the name of, like, all my redeems. Hello everyone. Alright, how are we all feeling today? I'm feeling like I'm a little too far to the right. That's better. Feeling EP, feeling good. Anyone feeling... I don't know what I was gonna say. Is anyone feeling... Does anything even matter? Let's see, let's get over to the game. Wow. Now let me pull up the game so I can play it. So this is a game called The Roottrees Are Dead. Watermelon told me about it. Let's see, when did she send me the link to this? And she sent the link to me back in February. And she wanted me to stream it. And the only thing I know about this is that it's a puzzle game. And I am notoriously bad at puzzle games, so... yeah, let's hope that I am not notoriously terrible at this one. Otherwise, this might be another, you know, quick hour and a half in and out. Like the last time I streamed a puzzle game. Puzzle night win? Oh yeah, I need to get the puzzle night. There's a lot of stuff I need to go do. Oh shit, that's a line. Guys, that line is moving. Oh yeah, I don't... December 6th
The plane that crashed last night just outside of Pittsburgh is now known to have been the private jet of the Roottrees Corporation. Local aviation authorities have speculated that from the pilot's final communications, the winter storm and heavy winds played a significant role in the crash. On board were multiple family members, including corporate president Carl Roottrees and his daughters, the Roottrees sisters, best known for their fashion lines and modeling careers. There were no survivors.
Damn.
Again, for those of you just joining us, the Roottrees are dead.
Guys, they said the name of the game. Let's see. Oh, that's a bunch of playtesters credits. Alright, well, you know, they said the name of the game. Game's over. We can all go home. I'll see you next time. I'm not actually gonna end it there. Get back here. I mean, I don't think it's a horror game, so like, I have no reason to be running like a little baby. Nobody expected those girls, rest their souls, to die so young. Roottrees Candy Company's lawyers are scrambling. I'm here to find help for what's next. Anyone who's a Roottrees blood relative is about to get wealthier. A lot wealthier. It's important to verify who's who. Here, you're an expert at sorting out family trees. I'm gonna give you a quick test. You pass, you get the job. Fill in the names, pictures, and occupations of the Roottrees sisters. Alright. Siblings join the family tree from oldest to youngest. The evidence in your possession appears here. And search the Okay. Guys, I can go search the internet. Alright. Now, Haidu gave you this photo with a note attached. This was taken during the shoot for the Roottrees Sisters Got Milk ad. I've tracked down a test photo from before they painted the fake mustaches on. That would be more appropriate considering the circumstances. The ad's copy read, you might recognize our faces from the magazine you're reading, or you might recognize our name from the candy bar you're eating. Being a Roottrees is a full-time job, but so is growing up. But the calcium found in milk is so important. You can't make chocolate without it. Oh, that's loud. Are you connected to the World Wide Web? Which URL would you like to visit? Use the post-it spelled out. Search engine is spider search. Go watch the Usabi Eria. Yeah, can we go to twitch.tv/Usabi Eria? Wait. Damn. Guys, I didn't exist in 1998. Double pressed on S. Or just maybe Roottrees fashion? Nope. Alright, let's just go Roottrees. The first few pages are filled with news results about the plane crash. Besides that, there are countless advertisements and conversations about the various products made by the Roottrees Candy Company. Most articles mention Carl Roottrees, who was the president of the Roottrees Candy Company. His daughters are also eulogized, collectively referred to as the Roottrees sisters. They've been famous from a very early age. Okay, give me more information on the sisters. Okay, that's a lot of text, guys. Fashion? Oh, I forgot the H. That's how I misspelled fashion. Alright, there are a lot of obituaries that focus on the Roottrees sisters' modeling careers. Also come across an unofficial Roottrees fan site, seemingly curated by a teenager. Neon pink with purple text, and hard to read until you highlight the words. The young webmaster writes, Raina is the most famous one because she's the oldest and got married to TMS. But Riley is the smart one. Bruce is the middle child. Okay, so Raina Roottrees, Rose Roottrees, Riley Roottrees. Okay. Yeah, Roottrees, not Roottrees. I'm sorry. Okay, Raina. Rose was the middle. I'm not seeing a road. Riley is the youngest. Okay, you were married to TMS. I'll have to look up TMS. Let's figure out the jobs first. You might think they are rich because they are models, but their dad is also the president of a candy company, and their mom, Brenda, is a fashion designer. They do the modeling for her brand, Roots. I eat Roottrees candy all the time. My favorite are Maple Crisps, and try to dress in plaid Root, clothes like Riley does in most of the posters. Someday I want to get my ears pierced like Rose. The website's author continues to talk about her own life and what she likes about the Root fashion lines, but none of it is relevant. So let's look up Raina Roottree. Okay, it's just pulling up the sisters again. So let's look up TMS. An abbreviation for 90s teen heartthrob Tommy Mark Sheridan. Holy shit, Sheridan Village from Pokemon Rejuvenation? Where's Alita? I think the three of them were models. See. His first credited role as Thomas Sheridan was on a soap opera called Time Marches Onward. He skyrocketed to popularity after his starring role on the sitcom Brother Trouble. Since the end of Brother Trouble, he has been on the cover of tabloids for his supposed drug use. More recently, his relationship with Raina Roottree. Their short engagement, they were married in 1997 when she was only 19 and he was 23. Ew, that's... Actually, I guess that's an okay-ish age gap. So instead of that, I'll shame his drug use. It's just gonna pull up. Oh, no, okay. Rose Roottrees is not as popular as her older sister Raina, but still very well known. Most of the time they are lumped together as the Roottrees sisters. Unfortunately, the results for Rose by herself don't lead to anything different than when searching for the sisters together. If you're having trouble finding someone in the list of names that your employer provided, doing a deeper dive on what you learn about them will often lead to additional discoveries. Good research tips to make note of any brand names, books, product lines, or magazines that you don't recognize and search for them. These searches will sometimes help directly. Even when they don't, you'll usually get additional context. So I'll just look up the brand Root. Does it need to be all caps? Although searches, root is a pretty common word. Although searches are not case sensitive, if you're searching for something specific, you should keep an eye for how it's spelled and punctuated during your research. If the clothing company root always has a period after it, even if it's not at the end of the sentence. Additionally, searching for a name, most of the time you'll need the full name, but sometimes if someone only goes by nickname, searching for their nicknames is the only way to find results. Alright, so... Roots, the period is part of the name, is a clothing company. They make clothes for children, from toddlers to teenagers. Although the website is down, likely due to increased web traffic, you find countless retail sites attempting to advertise their clothes toward the target audience. One of them has to say this: "You spy the Roottrees sisters looking hella fly on catalogs, magazines, and posters. Now you two can be like Riley, Rose, or Raina." You also come across a website from a collector of clothing catalogs. Apparently, Root has released 2 catalogs per year every year since 1984, and Raina appeared on almost all of them. There is only one that the webmaster considers a collector's item enough to mention. Seems that Brenda Roottree, the Roottree sisters' mother, and Root's head designer appeared on one cover holding her daughter Rose in 1985. The site says this was the only time her daughter was ever listed with her birth name, Carly Roottree. Okay. Her name, she's Carly Roottree. Alright. Okay. Carly Roottree. Right, I think all 3 of them were models, right? Now I just gotta put pictures to the names. I've got the faces, I got the names, now I just need to connect them. I think it said something about Rose wearing plaid. I discovered a trivia page that lists common trick questions. The answer to what are the first names of the famous Roottree girls lists the answer Raina, Carly, and Riley. The explanation below the answer states that Rose was apparently born Carly Rose Roottree. Apparently her parents had planned to name a son Carl Roottree Jr. Finding out they were having a second daughter, they called her Carly. Sometime in the early 90s, a now preteen Carly strongly expressed her dislike that her sisters had RH names and she was the odd one out, when she began to go by her middle name. Okay. So maybe I should go back to root period. I think I need to go back to... Okay, Riley dresses in plaid. Rose has her ears pierced. Alright. Ears pierced. Okay, I did it. Entries are correct and have been locked. Okay. Additionally, any optional names and portraits you have correct will be locked and removed from the pool. Thomas Sheridan. That was pretty simple, but I had to make sure you knew how to use the internet. People refuse to get with the times. Anyway, you got the job. You fill in the rest of the tree, the pay is significant. Set for life, significant. What's the catch? Their trees go way, way back. Family tree's a bit daunting. Most people freak out the first time they see the whole thing, but I'm sure you'll be fine. The man who started it all was very particular with who he considered family. So lucky for you, only his direct blood relatives matter. That means anyone who married into the Roottrees is completely optional, but filling them in can be extremely useful. Lastly, to help you out, I've given you access to some special websites. Also made a list of notable Roottrees. Notable people are easy to find via your search engine and easy to place on the tree because they're marked with stars. I'm leaving for now. I'm going to sort through Carl Roottree's things to see if there's anything relevant to your search. I'll be back in the time it takes you to fill out 6 blood relatives. Okay. Can you stop knocking on my door, dude? Sorry, one last thing. It might sound odd, but if anyone else claiming to represent the Roottrees reaches out, appreciate you not mentioning I was here. Thanks again, and good luck. Okay. Okay. So the stars are the people that are easy to identify. Oh my god, this is huge. Massive tree, yeah. Family tree will only verify success after 3 completely correct blood relatives. Name, occupation, and picture. All non-blood relatives and small pictures are optional. Placing them on the tree helps remove extra names and photos. The section in the white dotted area will unlock only when the rest of the tree is complete. Includes 2 names that you will be asked to type in manually. The clues are obscure, have been intentionally hidden in the past, and may even require some leaps in logic. Try to keep an eye out for any inconsistencies. Well, lucky for you, I'm actually an Olympic gold medalist at making logical jumps. Okay. I can hide the correct ones. Notable Roottrees. Yeah, my next shot was going to be at Carl. Name 2 times I made a logical leap. Well, by claiming I made that I'm a gold medalist and the logical leap is a bit of a logical leap in and of itself. Alright. Let's see. I think this one might be Carl. A sentient watermelon. Thank you for the follow. I wonder who that is. I wonder if that's anyone that I would know. Alright. Let's see, this is gonna be Carl. Carl. Job. Probably like the most recent. Oh, here. Hit the exclamation mark join. You got the dungeon, which, you know what? I'm actually going to move right now because it's still hidden behind me. What have I missed? I've only got the sisters placed so far. And, the husband. And what's a dungeon? It's a dungeon. Do exclamation mark join. See, look, there you are. I can't really point at you. Okay. There we go. I've moved the dungeon. Alright. And now we bring this back. So I guess I'll look up Carl next. Melon beat up 2 orcs, but she didn't get sent to modern-day Siberia, so... you know what? She's missed a lot of inside jokes, huh? Carl Roottree died in the recent plane crash, along with his wife Brenda Roottree and their daughters, the Roottrees sisters. He was the president of the Roottree Candy Company as well as the clothing company Root, which he co-founded with his wife. There's a short press release that the Roottree Candy Company released today to news organizations. December 6, 1998. It is with a heavy heart that we mourn the loss of Carl, Brenda, and the Rootree sisters, and the other employees that perished in the terrible tragedy. The entire Rootree family is in shock and requesting privacy at this time. As the head of our company, Carl was an incredible man and an unmatched leader. Filling his absence will be difficult. It may take... Oh, ads. I'm not gonna do anything during the ads. How many hints do I want from you? I'll only ask for a hint when I'm frustrated. Which is more than likely going to happen. Anyway, since it's a story-based puzzle game, I don't really want to do anything during the ad break. Other than just, like, listen to the smooth jazz. See, yeah, there's Blitz Hates Fun. Yeah, we're all Mita in the Discord because of the me side VOD that I'm definitely editing and haven't just deleted from my computer because it was taking up too much space. Oh, you know, another joke we have is, my definitely real girlfriend. You guys just don't know her. She goes to a different school. You see, if I really wanted you guys to, like, doubt that I had a girlfriend, I would say that I'm the top. Anyway, I'm the top. We got 10 seconds left on the ads. Alright, Go to sleep. Volt Weaver, it is 1:30 in the afternoon. I don't need to go to bed right now. Alright, the drink and Volt Weaver's cookies. Alright. Let's see. Let's see. It is with heavy heart that we mourn the loss of Carl, Brenda, and the Roottrees sisters, and the other employees that perished in the terrible tragedy. The entire Roottree family is in shock and requesting privacy at this time. As the head of our company, Carl was an incredible man and an unmatched leader. Filling his absence will be difficult and may take considerable time. In the interim, we hope that you join us in looking back fondly on Carl and his family's triumphs and accomplishments. They go on to list some of those accomplishments. One of them seems relevant to your search. Like his great-granddaughter before him, Carl earned the highly prestigious Watchman of the Year title. Okay. I guess I'll try to find a picture of Carl. Okay, I would need... how many hints do I want from you? I'll only ask for a hint when I'm starting to get frustrated. Other than that, no hints. Just sit here and scream at the screen then? Yeah. So let's see. This will be Brenda. Probably Brenda White, but I should look that up just in case. You stumble across an auction for a black and blue dress that's a Brenda White original. The auction describes it as a vintage dress from before Brenda became Brenda Roottree and started designing clothes for Root. The white and gold dress, oh god, no. No. It's the fucking dress. No. Melon, I'm gonna hit you with a pipe wrench. Answer the question. No. Fuck you. It was red and green. Merry Christmas. Yeah, that's actually the correct answer, Blitz. So I guess he was like the most recent president. So he'd be the 5th president? I just have to figure out how to get a picture. Let's see. 5 pieces ad. This is an advertisement for 5 pieces aimed at kids from the magazine Teen Blast. Mentions that the 5 pieces were named as such because the original creator had 5 children. Okay, so it's not the one piece 5 times. Got it. The ad also mentions that the current 5 flavors are not the same as back then. Okay, this is like the only miscellaneous thing I have. The magazine Teen Blast. I guess we'll go look at the Teen Blast magazine. Teen Blast appears to have many articles related to the interests of modern teenage girls. Fortunately, the search yields no relevant results. Alright, intuition. You've been in this line of work for a long time, so long in fact that you've developed a sixth sense for how useful your evidence can be. The numbers in the magnifying glass refer to how many clues are connected to a specific piece of evidence. The higher the number, the more you can find. At the start of your search, the notables list sets off alarm bells. List famous people that you can find via search engine. Pretty rare to get something that useful. Best take advantage of it. As you progress, however, these numbers will change. Whenever you find more evidence or verify family members, new discoveries will be added to the list and old evidence will become less useful. Trust your intuition. If a piece of evidence seems too good to be true, take a closer look at the people or phrases it mentions. Often the most satisfying revelations come from retracing a path you thought was fully explored, armed with a new perspective. Sometimes the reason certain evidence has such high value is because it can lead to finding more evidence. You may be missing a huge piece of the puzzle. Okay, so do I need to look specifically at... Okay, 35 at the notables. Copy and paste into the game's search engine. Oh yeah, that's right. That's a thing I can do. Okay. Fuck it, I guess I'll look up 5 pieces. The marketing materials and various candy history sites, you learn that 5 pieces are the iconic candy sold by the Roottrees Candy Company. Although they are no longer the company's only popular product, they still sell well to this day. 5 pieces are small, colorful, shell-coated maple candies that, since the late 20s, have been pressed into the shape of a maple leaf. Although they usually have one flavor that looks more like a berry. As tastes have changed over the years, so have the 5 flavors, but the shape and combination with maple have remained consistent. There's also a history of print advertising website that claims to have a 5 pieces advertisement scanned from a book called The Sweet History of Candy, Volume 2 by Charles Lee. That is a smoking gun, I'd say. Fortunately, when you click through to the website, it seems like all their image links are broken. Let's go to the library. Alright, this is a part of a book series about all things candy in the modern world. It starts in 1925 and continues onward to chronicle the rise of mass production and global distribution. The book ends with a look into the future of candy as envisioned by experts in 1985. With the addition of hindsight, you can clearly see they got pretty much everything wrong. Alright, so newspaper ad for 5 pieces from the 1930s has been added to my evidence. Same search, but change it to volume 1. That was literally my next step, Melon. I was about to say, since we're looking at volume 2, we might as well look for volume 1. 1984. This is a book about all things candy throughout history. It starts with historical accounts dating back to ancient Egyptians and chronicles candy through the year 1924. It includes some print advertisements from companies you've heard of, including an extremely early newspaper ad for 5 pieces that Charles Lee included due to a major misprint. Alright, those have both been added to evidence. Alright, vintage. Modern society requires a modern candy. Roottrees 5 pieces contain 5 different maple-infused flavors. Our candies are named after our family name. Our flavors are inspired by our children. It took you until your 3rd playthrough to figure that out? Alright, guys, you heard it here first. Melon cannot count to 2. I found this advertisement in The Sweet History of Candy Volume 2 by Charles Lee. It's from 1928, 6 years after the debut of 5 pieces. It states that the flavors are inspired by their children, and the order is grapefruit, elderberry, cinnamon extract, mandarin, and their newest flavor, miracle berry. Okay. So that tells me that we have a G root tree, E root tree, C E root tree, M root tree, and MB root tree. Let's look at the other one. Ellen may have played Portal 2, but knows not of the first game. I think we all played Portal 2 growing up, and I didn't know about Portal not 2 until way later. Let's see. 5 pieces, 5 magical flavors in every box. Don't settle for imitations. G is grapefruit, E is elderberry, EC is egg cream, CE is cinnamon extract, M is mandarin. So, G root tree, E root tree, EC root tree, CE root tree, and M root tree. I found this advertisement in The Sweet History of Candy Volume 1 by Charles Lee. It's from 1924, 2 years after the debut of 5 pieces. The author included it because of the spelling error on the word available near the bottom. States that the grape flavors are inspired by their children, and the order is grapefruit, elderberry, egg cream, cinnamon extract, and mandarin. So G, E, E. Okay, something happened to CE root tree. Or no, not CE, but EC. What happens if I search Avo? Back at elbow? Nah, okay. That's important. What happened to EC root tree? Honestly, I think EC root tree fucking did it. I think EC root tree tampered with the private jet and caused all of them to die. It was Colonel Mustard in the living room with the lead pipe. My god, this goes wide. Alright. Blood relatives verified. They will allow you to place optional bonus photos. See Raina as an example. Okay. Oh my god. It was EC Root Tree, the man behind the slaughter. EC stands for evidently the Colonel. Eventually Colonel. Alright, I don't know where to go to get photos. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out where to get the picture of Carl. Oh, Melon, bestow upon me the wisdom of Carl Roottree's picture. Spider Search Watchman of the Year. Oh yeah, it mentioned that. Can I copy from Twitch chat into the game? No, okay. Business Watch has been added to periodicals. Business Watch magazine is the magazine focused on companies, CEOs, and the economy. They've been around for over 100 years in one form or another, and will often write about major changes in management of famous companies. Every year, they offer an award to the prominent businessman who has furthered the field. They call this the Watchman of the Year. You find through a few searches that 2 Roottrees have been featured as this Watchman of the Year, Elias Roottree and Carl Roottree. Business Watch does not host any online archives of any site you can find via spider search, so you may be able to find individual articles, issues through your periodical search. So that was, yeah, Business Watch magazine. Okay, I can copy it. Keyword Carl Roottree, gotcha. I was gonna go for the keyword Watchman of the Year. Watchman of the Year 87 has been added to text. Carl Roottree was voted Watchman of the Year in 1987 for his work with Root. The cover and a summary of the article has been added to my evidence. So you get one of Elias Roottree Sr.'s pictures, but get from Spider Search. And a little down arrow. Oh, cool. Alright. Well, I mean, okay, I did think for a second that was Patrick Bateman. I don't think it's told us who Carl's father is. I think it's only told us that his grandfather is Elias. Elias and Gwyneth added to photos. You correctly fill out 2 more blood relatives. Okay. Elias Roottree was the founder and first president of the first president. Okay, and Donfer wants to be timed out. Alright, hi Donfer, bye Donfer. Okay. And what is essentially a propaganda site about him created by the Roottree Candy Company. Top, there's a picture of him and his wife Gwyneth. That picture has been added to evidence. There's also a biography section that has some additional information. Elias is credited for inventing 5 pieces of popular maple candy. For that, the farm he inherited by marrying his wife only produced syrup. After 5 pieces became wildly successful, Elias spent his time and energy on cementing his reputation as a family man. He is quoted on the site as saying, "Blood is thicker than syrup, and that any child linked by blood to me shall be linked by blood to my legacy." The site enthusiastically claims that he made good on that promise, but offers no additional detail. Although that there is a long list of accomplishments and awards, and one stands out, like his great-grandson Carl, Elias was voted Watchman of the Year. Okay. Okay, great-grandson. So, father, grandfather. Oh, okay, it's already got him filled out. Elias, Gwyneth. Well, I think I found EC root tree. Yeah, he was the first president. Think, wouldn't you? Of course, it's a guy named Elias. Looking for Gwyneth. Gwyneth Madsen? Maybe. Let me look up Gwyneth Roottrees. Find some information for a website for the first Anderson Maple Farm. There are a few pictures, including a famous picture of Elias and Gwyneth that was added to evidence. Before marrying Elias, Gwyneth Roottrees was Gwyneth Anderson. She had no brothers, so as the oldest sister, she was to inherit the Anderson Maple Farm, so long as she married. Before Elias took over, the farm produced only syrup. It was supposedly Elias's idea to create candy instead. Their success was not immediate until they decided to combine the maple with other flavors. This led to 5 pieces, which are still found in stores to this day. Though the Roottrees Candy Company expanded well beyond their original farm, it has been preserved as a tourist attraction. According to the website, there are still daily demonstrations and educational tours that show off many of the turn-of-the-century appliances that Gwyneth would have used as a housewife in the early 1900s. Okay. So Gwyneth Anderson. Right there. Maybe I'll look up Gwyneth Anderson. Okay, this is the same. The Roottrees Candy Company expanded well beyond their original farm and has been preserved as a tourist attraction. According to their website, there are still daily demonstrations and educational tours that show from many. Oh, housewife, duh. Housewife. Okay. The entries are correct and have been locked. Carl, Elias, and Gwyneth. Additionally, any optional names and portraits you have correct will be locked, which is Brenda White. Alright. 3 more before I get more new evidence. Alright. Oh my god, that's so much text. Can I scan this barcode? Alright, Carl Roottrees was voted Watchman of the Year in 1987. Notably, nothing else happened in 1987. If I just search each of the notable Roottrees. Fine. We still got— oh my god, we have 29 clues from this alone. So you got Carl, we've got Elias and Gwyneth. So let's just look up Gwyn Roottrees. Gwyn Roottrees has been added to photos. Okay, that was easy. Find some information on a website about old films that are not yet available on VHS. That is not very well organized and the search is broken, but you can get to individual pages from your search engine. Gwyn Roottrees is a somewhat well-known actress who was active in the 1950s. She often appeared in tabloids, especially around the time of her highly publicized divorce. Her biggest role was the minor hit movie Guys Like Us. She left Hollywood after the flop of Christmas Mission. There's a widely circulated picture of Gwen from behind the scenes on one of her movies, which you've added to your evidence. Did you know trivia? Gwen was the granddaughter of Elias Rootree, but the founder of, granddaughter of Elias Rootree, the founder of Rootree Candy. She shouldn't have been named Rootree, but her father took her mother's famous name, which was quite rare in those days. Lauren's gonna be the biggest hit, so do her last. Okay. Granddaughter of Elias. So... is this Gwyneth? Or Gwen? Gwen Rootree. Actor. Both Rootrees have gold stars on them. Okay. Alright, this is the only star here. Wait, but it did mention that she got a divorce. None of these people got divorces. Wait, hold on a second. Oh my god, this is such a big map. Two, three, four. Really publicized divorce. Yeah, the red X means divorce. Get ready for work. Okay. Alright. I think this one is Gwen. Let's look up the Guys Like Us movie, I guess. Find some information on a website about old films that are not yet available on VHS. That is not very well organized and the search is broken, but you can get to individual pages from your search engine. Guys Like Us is a film in which two secretaries cut their hair short and pose as businessmen to get ahead in life until one of them falls in love with their client and hilarity ensues. Starring Gwen Rootree, Leslie Florence, and Harrison Lane. It is plain words as it can be read that two women are men similar to other men, or that the men are fond of them. What was the other one? Oh, yeah, okay. I think the other one was Christmas Mission. Christmas Mission is on a page called Flops. It was a war movie about World War I that received poor reviews and lost the studio money. Gwen Rootree had a role as the soldier's wife who wrote him letters from home. Find no additional relevant information. Marketed as an incredible true story, but no record of the event. Okay, so this is a dead end that I should stop looking into. A red root tree. based on a true story that just wasn't true at all. You find information on a website about strange historical facts. Aloysius Herring Roottree, aka Red, was an appointed judge and politician who earned his nickname ironically because he was the ambassador to Ireland for only about 6 days. He served what some people contend is the shortest term in history. A few days after he was appointed, he was heard disparaging his position and the Irish people. Then tried to run for state senate. He claimed to be related to the Roottrees Candy Company in a newspaper, but it came out that the last name was merely a coincidence, and he was defeated in a landslide. Okay. So, figure out where Gwyn goes? Yeah, I put Gwyn here because notable, she's the only notable that has a divorce. Yeah. Guardian, okay. There appears to only be like one adoption. So I guess I'll look up more than just his nickname. And that's nothing new. Okay. Entirely an unrelated root tree. Is there somewhere I can put him to be like, this man is not part of this tree? Yeah, the red herring root tree. I picked that up. Alright, Jim. What do you have for me? Rolling on down to the city, added to Misk. James Roottree is a singer who sings in the duo Jim and Diamond with his wife, Diamond LaRue. The duo, according to many sources you find, is considered a one-hit wonder to the disco song Rollin' On Down to the City, now in my evidence folder. Although Jim writes the majority of the songs, plays the guitar and often sings, Diamond is considered by fans to be the band's singer. The band never had another hit, but it has its fans, referred to themselves as Diamond's Dazzlers. The rest of their music is more folksy and acoustic than the one song they were known for. Jim and Diamond have continued to release music through the 80s and early 90s. Other albums you find mentioned are Cherry Tree and Sound of Laughter. Jim has become a bit of a recluse and hasn't made a public appearance since 1996. Wait, shit, is there... Oh shit.
We're rolling, rolling, rolling on down to the city.
Oh shit!
Saturday night and you're quite a sight. The world might be
Damn, fuck this family tree. This music fucks.
making ends meet, so there and ten.
Remember if it's fully sung? Yeah, no, this kind of goes.
The streets, guys all rush to say that I'm pretty. Ladies blush and find me so witty. They're out of luck tonight, what a pity. We're rolling, rolling, rolling.
Oh, the lyrics might have hidden meanings. Oh, fuck. Rolling on Down to the City was barely a top 20 hit for a few weeks in 1979. According to the liner notes, it satirizes how a part of society was content to remain indifferent to the economic inflation and civil unrest in the Middle East, unless pop culture tricked them into caring. Somewhat ironically, listeners didn't seem to pay attention to the lyrics enough to trick them into caring. Ironically, most of its play came from roller discos. That makes sense.
Pick
Because it was such a product of its time, it doesn't get much play anymore, even on stations that play oldies. Maybe that's why you never heard of it before now. This image is from an auction for a sealed copy. It has a sticker that says only the great-grandson of Elias Roottrees could make disco this sweet. Great-grandson. It is credited to Peter Janowitz from MMM. Musical lyrics, Jim Roottrees, vocals by Jim Roottrees and Diamond LaRue. Jim Roottrees is on the notable Roottrees list in your evidence. He will be marked on the tree with a star. Okay. Blitz, the game is ahead of you. The lyrics of this song contain no clues. Jim and Carl aren't brothers, but they're in the same generation. Okay. Same generation.
We're rolling on down to the city.
Okay, this is the only other notable in this generation. So this... James Roottrees. Singer is not on there. Artist, maybe? Or dancer? Musician? Oh, yeah. And then this is Diamond LaRue. I guess let's look into Diamond. Small question mark boxes next to Diamond. Oh, they're photos. So there's one more photo for Diamond. No. I accidentally copied instead of pasted. James Roottrees is a singer who sings. This just brought up Jim again. Cherry Tree. Cherry Tree's son. An album by... Oh wait, it was they were albums, not songs. An album by Jim and Diamond released in 1996. It wasn't professionally reviewed, though diehard fans of Jim and Diamond online say it was a return to form. The CD was apparently so hard to find in stores that some fans have resorted to selling cassette bootlegs of it. There's a music commerce website that claims to sell the album, but it's sold out at the moment. Find a short sample of one of the songs, called Sun, added to the evidence. Let's see, Cherry Tree is an album by Jim and Diamond, and one of the songs is called Sun. The website you found it on did not have a full version, but you managed to find a short preview of the song's chorus. Jim sings the following. There blazed a spark of light that ever brightly shone, from her starting days imparting wisdom to conquer life unknown. Though someday she'd depart, in part I'd never be alone. In my heart I'll always be the son of... oh wait, this has nothing. There's no intuition on this one. No, it's... Hold on a second. Let me do a search for G Roottrees. Oh. Damn. You know, I think it was worth a shot. Maybe I'll look up Jim and Diamond. No, okay, that just brought up Jim's page again. Wait, search for Miracle Roottree Jr. and then do Lauren Roottree. Okay, but I feel like there's more here. Wolf Picture. Diamond's Dazzler is the name of the official fan club for Jim and Diamond. You find a forum called Cool Things You Got in the Mail on a random forum about video games. One reply mentions that Jim and Diamond still send out a Christmas card every year to Diamond's Dazzlers. It's accompanied by some pictures as well as some history about the fan club. Apparently, even though it's no longer available to join, Jim and Diamond still honor it themselves personally. There's a fierce debate in the subsequent posts about whether that's cool or pathetic. Amongst the pictures of Christmas cards from over the years, only one is relevant. The card from 1996 included pictures of Jim and Diamond's young son Wolf, as well as a note about his daughter's band, the Floozies. Okay, so Wolf Roottree. Found their kids so quickly. It's usually one of the last things I get around to. I'm a bit of a gamer, as this guy clearly is. I'll have to look him up, as well as the Floozies. Let's go down the Wolf pipeline first. Alright, never mind. He plays Quake. I think he's playing Doom in that picture. Conquistador, and it's a mask. The Floozies are an all-female punk band operating out of New York City. I mentioned in passing in an online review from earlier this year. Apparently they were the opening act for the band the reviewer actually came to see. The reviewer writes that she normally doesn't review the opening act, but this one was unusual. Not because of the music, which she described as loud, fast, and repetitive, but not in the good way. The trio was extremely cagey about their identities. The reviewer asked the venue who they were, and she was told they were rumored to be the children of other famous musicians and didn't want to be why they became popular. The reviewer also mentioned that for an underground and unknown band with absolutely no following, their equipment was all extremely expensive. The cassettes they were selling at the merch table seemed pretty high quality and probably cost a lot to manufacture, especially considering they were only $1. The reviewer said, although she bought a copy, she would be unlikely to ever listen to any of it again, except maybe Beef Baby, the first track on side B. There is no picture of the Floozies performing live, but the cover from the tape they were selling, Conquistador, has been added to your evidence. Okay. Also, I got to turn the music down. It's less loud. I can't quite read those names, but there's names on there. Oh, yeah, okay, it says Candy, Nikki, and Nina. any of you Roottrees? Well, there's a candy Roottrie. Don't see a Nikki or a Nina though. And because guitar vocals, that must be her. Musician. Well done. James, Gwen, and Candy. Okay, so I messed something up on Wolf. Oh, I forgot his job, that's right. Client returns. Okay, I'm getting a lot of evidence. Great, you're on a roll, and I'm here to hopefully keep that going. I have a picture of the Roottrees family's reunion from the 1970s. Carl's office was a mess due to some pipes breaking, but I also found some papers. They seemed important. You found 9 blood relatives so far. I'll have a bit more to share after 9 more. Oh, I forgot to close settings, thank you. And remember, even with new evidence, don't forget the notable Roottrees. The family members you've already placed on the tree can sometimes help you with just a bit more research. Now go search for Lauren Roottree. What about Miracle Jr.? I'm just glad that I'm finally not sucking ass at a puzzle game. Alright. Then the next 30 minutes going over all the new things I got and I'm gonna get. Alright, hold on. I do want to look up Beef Baby. Just because that's a very funny combination of words. By the floozies, you can't actually find anything else about it anywhere. But with a name like that, it's not hard to speculate on the subject matter, isn't it? Euphemism? About a newborn cow? Perhaps the floozies are holding a grudge against a toddler? Lauren is my California Gold Rush? Fine, I'll go look at Lauren. Except I never actually... I need to recopy her. Lauren Roottree. Oh my god. Oh, long ass string of text. Alright. Author Lauren Roottree, a distant relative of the Roottree sisters, is known for her book A Life Between Wars. According to a website about famous authors, in the early 1960s, Lauren released a few romance novels under her married name, Lauren Rafferty, to little fanfare. When her publisher learned she had been keeping diaries about her famous family, they insisted she release them under her original name, Lauren Roottree, to take advantage of her family's notoriety. The selection of diaries, released in 1965 as A Life Between Wars, spans from the untimely death of her husband in World War II to coping with the post-war world as a young widow and mother, as well as her perspectives on changing times and socialites all the way through the entry into Vietnam. While the content is not considered particularly relevant to modern audiences, it has found a new life as an exercise in high school English classes to show an evolution in writing style and for a look into life in previous generations. After the success of her diaries, her publisher re-released her romance novels under the name Lauren Roottree. This included Romance in Court, which gained popularity. She followed the re-release by writing 2 new sequels, creating what fans referred to as the Court Jester series. Find no details about Lauren, though she is listed as retired. Oh my god, you are not lying about the gold mine that she is. I need to fill up my water bottle. Actually, I will wait a few minutes to do that because we're going to be getting an ad here soon. Oh, wait. Oh, my God. A diary. Oh, you're right. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, that's going to have so much shit. And I haven't even looked at the new stuff I've gotten. All right. Let's start with A Life Between Wars. That's the wrong button. To crack this wide open. Jesus Christ. Oh my god, stop adding shit to my text. Mother of God, Melon. Seems you've hit the jackpot here. Gotta leave for work here soon. Yeah, you're leaving me with a bunch of work. It seems you've hit the jackpot here. This is a book occasionally taught in schools. You even find a hardcover edition for students that has full-page, high-quality pictures in it. A summary of the contents of the book, photos, as well as some particularly relevant entries from the diary have been added to my evidence. Okay. Let me pull up Romance in Court. After, I guess I can offer more help next time. I'm probably not going to play this again until next Monday. Bye, Melon. Alright. Romance novel by Lauren Roottrees about the author blurb mentions she had the inspiration from one of her brother, Clancy, lectures on the Middle Ages. Okay, Clancy Roottrees and Lauren Roottrees are siblings. Who are their parents? Alright, I think that's Lauren. Clancy might be married brother, though. I think it would have said brother-in-law if they were related like that. Okay, the below are notes and observations you've made while skimming through Lauren Roottrees' diary pages in A Life Between Wars. Lauren Roottrees is on the notable Roottrees list in your evidence. She will be marked on the tree with a star. The book was published in 1965 and consists of diary entries that stretch from 1940 to 1965. The most important event that much of the diary and Lauren's thoughts revolve around was the loss of her husband, Jacob. Jacob died in the final months of World War II while Lauren was pregnant. This left her to raise her son Clark alone. Lauren never remarried and only had one child. Let me pull out the notes. Okay, hold on. Okay. Lauren married. I didn't need to capitalize married. Jacob died in World War II. Lauren birthed, what was their name? Clark. Okay. By skimming the pages of the diary, you glean the following information. She was the granddaughter of Elias and Gwyneth on her father's side. Her mother's family was called the Cossells, but she hardly ever mentions them. Her father, who she always refers to as Pop, was the head lawyer for the Roottree Candy Company and helped write a legal document called the Clanced Trust. Clear from context that the Roottrees have internal shorthand names for the different generations of their family. Lauren uses them often. 5 Pieces, the first generation of children by Gwyneth and Elias, Lauren's father was in this generation. The next generation is Lauren's generation. 3 Spirits, the generation after Lauren's, including her son. Okay, we've got ads in 40 seconds. dear God, please let me stop reading to go get water. Alright, let's tackle this from the top down. I guess I'll look up Jacob Roottree. Oh wait, yeah, no, she changed her name. Hold on. Alright, it's Adge time. I need water. Alright, I'm back from getting water. Oh my god, I don't think I've talked this much in one sitting, like, uninterrupted. Ever? I'm gonna have to go get more water probably before the next ad break. But just having like 3 minutes to relax the brain, this is nice. Alright, are we all back from Adge? We back match, more like we back. Alright. I think my throat is somewhat recovered from all that reading. Let's see. Let's look up Lauren Rafferty. It pulls up the same page, okay? Okay. To try to place her. She's notable. Okay. So, was she a great-grandchild? Children. No, isn't she just a grandchild? Not a great? Yeah, just grandchild. It could be here. Could be here. But yeah, she has a brother. Can't be here because she's notable. So I guess that leaves her here. Like her son. Let's see, is retired an option? No. Okay, so I'll put author down. What was her name? Jacob? Oh, Jacob Rafferty, yeah. I guess it would be Clark Rafferty. There's also a Chris Rafferty. Let's look up Clark. Few fan sites for the band Jim and Diamond seem to mention that they used to make music with Clark Rafferty. They mention an album called These Times. A band called C&J and J&D released one single called These Times. Someone with the username XXX Diehard Dazzler XXX, who scanned the album, noted that it cost him over $200 at auction. Apparently, this album was Jim Roottree and Diamond LaRue's first album together before they split off to form a duet. He also mentions that it was performed with Jim's cousin and Diamond's sister, and that it wasn't very good, but had one or two tunes on it that were similar to Jim and Diamond's later works. Can't find anything else about XXX Diehard Dazzler XXX, the band, or the album, so all that's left to do is add the scan to your evidence. They're a blazing fast 35-minute download. Title track is also available. These are pretty far removed from each other. see. These Times is an old single from folk group C&J and J&D. A scan of the album, as well as a recording of the title track, thanks to collector Jim and Roottrees memorabilia. Website also listed the song's credits as music and lyrics by Clark Rafferty and Jim Roottrees, backup vocals by the LaRues. On it is a sticker that says, folk style songwriting, catchy, MMM magazine. The lyrics of the song contain no clues. Let's look up MMM magazine. Because it's popped up a few times. Can I just type in MMM, or do I need a keyword? Alright, I do need a keyword. Let's look up C and J plus J and D. Alright, that's all it was. Modern Music Monthly, alright. A magazine from the 40s to the early 80s. It went out of business due to high competition from much more major publications. Used to have many articles related to old albums and musicians. Fortunately, this search... Hold on. What happens if I press the power button? Okay, it just turns it off. Okay, hold on. Okay, we know that this is Clark Rafferty. Oh, I still had it on MMM, you're right. A section of the magazine called Skip It or Flip It has short, pithy blurbs about new records. An album called These Times listed under the Skip It column with the following. These Times, a new single from C&J plus J&D, Clark Rafferty, Jim Roottrees, and two of the LaRue sisters. Amateurish folk-style songwriting is catchy at times, but ultimately doesn't do anything new. This is nothing. What if I look up Clark Rafferty? No. I need to put a picture here with James. I'm tempted to put this one with the smoother hair. I'm gonna put him down as like a student, I guess. He looks like he would be a student. There are 2 other LaRue options. Let me look up this Clanced Trust document. Just gonna spider it. Oh my god. Oh, that text is so tiny. The Clanced Trust is a highly unusual corporate arrangement named after Clancy Edward Roottree, who was Elias's son and the Roottrees Candy Company's head lawyer at the time. Due to its unique nature, it's often brought up in online discussions about financial matters and inheritance as an oddity. Hold on, so... Clancy Edward Roottree. That is going to be the father of... Hold on. Except CE is the middle. One, two, three. Okay, he's the middle both times. No, he's not. He's the 4th here. Those flavors in birth order? That's what I'm going off of. Because, I think the newest flavor, Miracle Berry, is referring to, like, a new child. Clancy Edward Roottree was a lawyer. The company mandates that a fixed percentage of its profits are split every quarter amongst bank accounts representing each direct relative of Elias and Gwyneth. The account is created for each blood relative at birth and first accessible when they reach 18. Due to the ever-increasing success of the company, this is a significant amount of money. The Clanced Trust is known for being essentially impossible to get around due to many checks and balances written into it. Still, there have been a few situations in which family members have tried to forcibly remove another member from the trust. Most details online are pretty vague since the matters are handled internally. The only information you discover is from a university law school, which apparently had a guest lecturer talk about the Roottrees versus RR in 1994. Looking into Clanced Trust, you often find mentions to the 5-piece guarantee, which went into effect at the same time. EC was removed. Someone removed EC from the Clanced Trust. Check out the case. I will in a second. Yeah, okay. Look at the Roottrees versus RR. Very few details about this particular incident with regards to the Clanced Trust. A student that attended a lecture about it wrote the following on a Legal Oddities website. From what you can tell, RR attempted unsuccessfully to remove a fellow family member from the trust. Said that RR attempted 2 arguments. First, the person in question was born out of wedlock, and second, They committed a significant crime against a fellow family member. Still, due to the ironclad wording of the Clancy Trust, it was impossible to remove any direct descendant of Elias Roottree without completely dissolving the trust. What the fuck? Five pieces. Lauren's diary contains some labeled pictures. This is the 5 pieces. Caption: this picture was famous in our house. Pop even had it framed. That's him on the left. Okay, let's go place that. That is Clancy Edward. Yeah, alright. It was taken in 1935 to celebrate the move to the new warehouse that Eli Jr. designed. Angie and I both wanted to be in the photo since Miracle was in it and the 3 of us were all about the same age. We were told only the 5 pieces, which really didn't go over well, to say the least. Eventually, I suppose to stop the tantrums, they posed us in front of the camera with Mr. Morden, who was there with Aunt Gwendolyn. Found out years later that they never even took a second photo. Damn! The next generation. Oh my god. Okay. Lauren's diary contains labeled pictures. This is the next generation. An attempt to recapture the spirit of the 5 pieces photo with our generation. For all time's sakes, we gathered on the warehouse floor. I wanted Eli to stand all the way on the left, since to me he looked a lot like Pop did in the old one. But I was outvoted by my brothers. They insisted the 4 of us stand together, and so we clumped up in the middle and let everyone filter in behind and in front of us. The only one too good to make an appearance was Gwen. Grandma insisted we include Sam, even if we didn't want to. None of us understood why, including Sam. I also didn't think it was fair. I also didn't think it was fair Miracle made it in, since he's technically a 5 piece. I guess my inner child still holds a grudge after all these years. What is up with this dude? I probably shouldn't be taking all these photos. This photo has a note attached from your employer. Apparently, every 20 or so years, the Roottrees would hold a big reunion and recreate an old family photo. This is one from the 70s, and Carl's the teenager in the middle. Sorry about the water damage. A pipe burst in Carl's office. On the back of the photo, in childish print writing, it says November. There are also a large number of cursive signatures. They include Bonnie, next President Guy Hudson, Ernie Jr., Carolyn, Gwyneth M., Gwendolyn, Miracle Jr., Jim Roottree, Clark Carl, and Eli M. Okay. Carl's... So I guess that's Carl? Let me go place Carl. Carl, I have your second photo. I think it's this one. Alright, and then we need to move Lauren. Is Lauren Carl's mom? No, okay, here's the... take it from over here? It does. Lauren Roottrees, author. Okay. Francie, Lauren, Wolf. Okay, Wolf was a student. Alright. So we can move Clark and Jacob. Jacob Rafferty. Clark Rafferty. Edition. Okay, he's the one with the curly hair. Paris. Photos, a note attached from your employer. Here's a bonus. When I pulled the water damage photos, picture of the free spirits out of the frame, it's fell out too. Written on the back of the photo is, couldn't make the reunion, wishing you well from Paris, Gwyn and the boys. So Gwyn, does Gwyn have two sons? Yeah, but one of them is dotted off. Check the legend. Nothing says anything about dotted lines. The closest we have is this, but it mentions a white dotted box. The white dotted area, but like I don't see a white dotted area other than this. Oh wait, because okay. Alright. Gwyn has two sons. Funeral picture. Photo came with a letter postmarked a few years ago. Carl had the letter framed and kept the photo nearby. The letter says, to Carl and Brenda, sorry you were unable to make it to the funeral. It's tradition to have it within 24 hours, and Ernie, more than anyone else on earth, knew how busy your job can be. Ernie was a man full of love, not only for his family, but his family's legacy. He had an immense amount of pride for the work you three did together, as well as how Carl has carried on for him after taking over. As for myself, it is impossible to express my gratitude enough for rescuing us from the panic and burden of endless bills. Though it was caught too late for him to get on the donor list, the company took care of us beyond our wildest expectations. It went unsaid at the time, but Ernie and I knew it had to have been Carl that convinced the trust. And that was no coincidence. That happened shortly after your visit, Brenda. Up until the end, Ernie and I had to stay strong, especially for Nicole's sake. We could never done that without the two of you fighting for us. Much love, Debbie. I have no idea who Ernie is. Oh, hello, Burb. what this? It is a puzzle game that Melon recommended to me. She was here earlier, but she had to leave for work. We're still missing something from the diary. This game, not Blueprints. Where's Blueprints? Look, Melon asked me to play this for her a few months ago, and I said that I would. I will get to Blueprints eventually. Generation after Lawrence, including her son. Clark, which I'm pretty sure is this guy. So the yellow ones are the ones that are confirmed. So I need to get 2 more in. Let me go to Clark's diary. Because this has like 15 things on it. One of the final entries called Clark from Lauren Roottrees' diary written in 1964. Clark's getting married, and in my opinion, far too young. He's barely 18 for God's sake. And Danielle isn't much older. Openly confronting them would make me a hypocrite. After all, Jacob and I got married at 16. Clark, like the rest of his generation, is a free spirit. What else do you call a group of kids growing up with more money than any one person can spend? They all aspire to be musicians and artists and dancers and all sorts of nonsense. Okay, says the author. Literally a kind of artist. Hypocrisy. Sorry, I just blanked out for a second. What am I doing? The only one who has any discipline is Carl. That's because Pop forced Clancy to send him to the academy. Those Clancy Carl's root tree parents? Maybe I'm just getting old. But our generation was never so bad. My brothers all seem to pursue paths of knowledge, and Edward is even set to take over Pop's department once Pop retires. As for me, my first published book, Swashbuckle My Heart, is based on the pirate stories I used to invent with Jacob when we were walking in the woods after school. I think he'd be proud that Clark and I are carrying on his name. Even my cousins are doing well. Zach's not a bad president after all, and his sister seems to be doing a good job raising her twins. Gwen is Gwen, but at least she came out of the divorce with her head held high. The free spirits, in any other family, they'd all end up on the streets. Even Clark. Okay, what was her name? Let's see. Danielle. Danielle Franks, maybe? I'll look up Clancy Roottree. No results. Fuck it, let's go look at Swashbuckle My Heart. Published, out of print, no copies available, re-released as X marks the spot. Okay. Alright, softcover fiction romance. According to the back of the book, this is A Buried Treasure by Lauren Roottrees, the author of the Court series. It says, keep an eye out for Lauren Rootrees' next book, Revisiting the Diary 10 Years Later. Alright. Visiting the Diary, anger, names. Okay. Okay. This was a version of Lauren Rootrees' diary released in 1975. Unlike the original diary, it contains no pictures, but has many new passages that reflect on her thoughts 10 years later. One major event that happened between releases that changed Lauren's outlook on certain subjects, the death of Elias. A summary of the fallout has been added to your notes, plus some other select pages. Okay. I am being good. No. Nothing important. Elias's scandalous will. The new diary starts with a chapter that fills in the 10 years between the release and re-release of Lauren's diary. A major family incident was the death of Elias Roottree and the fallout from his will, where an unexpected name was read, Samantha Roottree. Although she and her children were not part of the Clancy Trust, and would therefore receive no inheritance from the success of the company, Elias had a stipulation that Sam retained the rights to run the farm and any and all decisions and salary related to it. It was then that some scandalous secrets came out. None of the 5 pieces were surprised, but it was quite a shock to everyone else, including Sam. She'd been told her parents died. Apparently, Sam was the illegitimate child of Elias Jr. and Patricia Christensen. Patricia, the daughter of a local steel mogul, and Eli Jr. harbored a secret romance at age 16. She became pregnant, and after the birth, her father refused to let her see Eli Jr. ever again. Her baby Samantha was sent to the Roottrees. Elias hid her away with a local farmhand known as EC. Patricia was married off to a much older man and sent away. That was the end of that. Almost. None of the next gens had ever met or heard of Patricia until she unexpectedly reappeared, now going by Patsy. After Patsy's husband died, she reunited with Eli Jr., and they finally married in their 50s. Lauren mentioned the wedding in her first diary without knowing Patsy's history. Eli Jr. had never taken another lover. Lauren, ever the romantic, quite appreciated this. When Patsy and Eli Jr. finally married, Elias decided Sam should have been a Roottree in the first place. Even though she was not part of the Clansid Trust, he wanted to include her in the family's affairs. That was what led to Lauren's initial diary entry entitled Sam. Okay. So let's look up. Let's start with Samantha Roottree. Nothing. All right. Oh, you know what? There was something we missed on the Clansid Trust. The 5-piece guarantee. It's that there will be 4 sequels to One Piece, and they'll all be longer. The 5-piece guarantee, in combination with the Clansid Trust, was Elias Roottree's attempt to ensure that the Roottree Candy Company would remain a family business for eternity. In isolation, it is somewhat baffling. The yearly salary of Roottree's pet president is always locked to the price of a single pack of 5 pieces. When the 5-piece guarantee went into effect, this was 25 cents a year. Now it's closer to $4. Combined with the Clansid Trust, however, it makes a bit more sense. Elias wanted to ensure that only his direct relatives could afford to be president, and he knew that because their passive income was tied to the profits of the company, they would have a vested interest in keeping the company as profitable and successful as possible. Whether or not this was a smart or successful decision is widely debated both online and in person by economics enthusiasts of all levels of expertise. Okay, that's a dead end. Alright, let's start, let's go to the campaign mailer. Sort of Carl's generation taken in the mid-late 1970s, plus some papers and mail from his office. Yeah. Radish kimchi sounds yummy. Campaign mailer. This seems just like wildly, entirely unrelated. It was buried under a ton of other mail that Carl left in his inbox. It had a handwritten note attached that seemed personal. It was a flyer about a candidate for local office, Stephanie Jones. On the back is an excerpt from a newspaper article from the Butler County Times about her campaign. Stephanie may have grown up in an unconventional family, to say the least, but in her words, it was still full of love. And now, 22 years later, with a baby of her own, due around Christmas, her message for voters is simple. Love is our future. The handwritten note says, Carl, I know we don't see eye to eye when it comes to the candy company, but if you could talk to your girls about putting out a statement supporting Stephanie, she could use the publicity your daughters bring. Don't let her conflicts spread to the next generation. CM? I don't know who CM is, but like apparently there's a lot to this. There's 13 clues that we can find from this. Maybe it's Miracle Roottree Jr. Three generations of miracles added to Misk. Oh my god, this is like the smallest text so far. Find a website for the Miracle Network, a production company run by the Miracle Roottrees estate. It's quite bare bones but has the following blurb. Witness the testimonies of the Miracle's Roottree. Miracle Roottrees arrived so late in his mother's life that doctors swore he wouldn't survive his first year. His mother and father, Elias and Gwyneth, named him Miracle because they thought him impossible. He was younger than his brothers and sisters by over 14 years. With a birth that late, the final child of his generation was nearly torn apart by countless health problems. But still, with the power of God on his side, he persevered. He triumphed over these complications and even regained his sight to spread the healing word of the Almighty. 23 years later, Miracle Roottrees Jr. arrived and became the famous family's second vessel for the higher power. At 18, he unburdened himself from the Roottrees name and took his father's testimony to a whole new level. By the power of television, Miracle Jr. spread the gospel across the entirety of New England. He has since left this life of glamour and glitz to reach behind those places that need it most. The power of the Lord coming to a town near you. Below the blurb is a flyer about the tour, which is now in your evidence. I think that's this one. Miracle Roottrees Jr. Who is a preacher. Oh wait, no. Miracle Jr. is a notable. That's Miracle, not Miracle Jr. This one Miracle Jr.? Oh, yeah. This one's Miracle Jr. All right. Are they both creatures? I think so. Yeah. But I don't think I have... Do I have any pictures of Miracle Jr.? Let's see. Biggest complaint, the biggest complaint I got after publishing my diary was how many similar names there are. And I get it, there are 4 Elis for Pete's sake. That's how it is. Someone would say I saw Eli in town, and I wouldn't know which one they meant. My brother, my uncle, my cousin. That's why they became Uncle Jr. or Miracle's Eli or Eli C. Families' names were always unusual. Grandpa Elias was a believer in using the names of each generation to honor those in the last. His father and Grandma Gwyneth's father were named Edward and Clancy. Now you see where my pop's name came from. One thing that's always been consistent in our family, though, is that any time someone's a junior, they're always the firstborn son. That goes for Miracle, Eli, or even Clancy. With the woman, however, it all goes out the window. I think Gwendolyn got her name from some combination of Gwyneth and Carolyn, who was Elias's mother. Women's names tend to get all mixed up as the generations went on. I guess that's because there's no female equivalent of Junior. If you're reading my diary and confused, you're not alone. Even the government had problems. I remember once receiving certified mail for an Edward Clancy root tree. I had to break the news that they got my father's name backwards. Edward Clancy. No, but there is a Clancy Edward. Edward Clancy is a real person. Okay, we're leaving, yeah, EC and CE. Damn it. Same generation as Lauren. Which is the next generation. Which is this one. An attempt to recapture the spirit of the 5 pieces photo with our generation. For all time's sake, we gathered on the warehouse floor. I wanted Eli to stand all the way on the left, since to me he looked a lot like Pop did in the old one, but I was outvoted by my brothers. They insisted the 4 of us stand together, so we clumped up in the middle and let everyone filter in behind and in front of us. Gwen didn't show up. Grandma insisted we include Sam, even if we didn't want to. Okay, I think this is my 3rd person. Yeah, so honestly, I think I'll just click through pictures until I get the right one for Miracle. Or Miracle Jr., rather. Okay, I'm not going to click this one because that says Eli. Okay, I think I might not have Miracle Jr.'s picture. Oh, wait, hold on. That's Miracle Jr. Okay, so I have something that is not correct. However, I can get Miracle the Third. See, a flyer for the 3 Generations of Miracles tour. The flyer is a few years old. It comes from 96. Names listed are Miracle Jr., who is said to be world famous and gets top billing. Miracle Jr. is on the notable Roottrees. Yes. Miracle Roottree, who the flyer says will make a special appearance. Miracle Third and his wife Nicole are said to be youth pastors. Here, let me, let me look up Miracle Roottree Third. Oh, I forgot the... Okay, I guess I'll just scroll through until I find a Nicole. Alright, I got the Miracles. Jacob Rafferty. Danielle Franks. That picture. Alright, so it was Clark's picture that I have wrong.
You're listening to WRTD.
Okay.
It's time for your headlines every hour, on the 45. It's a bizarre development to an already tragic tale.
Is there a way to pause this? I have an ad coming in 2 minutes.
Took his life. Some of Carl Roottree's belongings have apparently
Oh,
gone
shit.
missing. Most notably, a framed photo of the Roottree family from the mid-1970s that Carl had on his office wall. We interviewed a local psychologist about who would do such a thing and why. For that article, search online for WRTD News. Again, that's WRTD.
WRTD. Okay, so that did take less than 2 minutes. However, I think I am complicit to a crime. Before they are set to return, you heard something odd on WRTD radio. Photo you were given may have been stolen from Carl's office. The newscaster mentioned you could search online for WRTD to find out more. Let's see, I'm not going to start reading this yet because we got an ad coming up in 30 seconds, and that's more than 30 seconds of reading right there. But, yeah, I think we might be complicit to crime, which is always wonderful. Alright, there is ads. Alright, we back. Adge over. Everyone back from Adge? Adge over? Wonderful. You've got to, read this nightmare text now. WRTD News is your local investigative jazz radio station. During their news segments at 45 minutes on the hour, they've been talking about the plane crash. This most recent hour, they also talked about a picture taken from Carl's office after the plane crash and promised an interview online with a psychologist. During the interview, it's revealed that there wasn't a break-in. Instead, someone with a key to the office took the picture after discovering pipes burst due to the recent storm. It means it was likely someone close to the family who was aware of the photo's history and wanted to save it. The psychologist, however, also goes on to posit the culprit had an alternate agenda, specifically because nobody in the family has come forward to say they have it in their possession. Comment below the article says, "Don't believe their lies. It's just another instance of the root tree curse being a real true thing. Bet you Carl was murdered and the picture had evidence on it." Alright. Root tree curse sounds like something I should look into. Oh, can the text stop getting smaller? Oh, this is... I have to full screen this game. Alright, also because of the way I have this scene cropped, you can't see like the top few inches of... That's fine. There's a long, rambly conspiracy website with very small, very red text on a black background that says that the root trees are cursed. It has been very recently updated with the following. Important update. With Carl and Brenda and their girls, that makes 5 new deaths. Not only that, but 3 of the 5 presidents of the Root Tree Company have died mysteriously. They say Guy's car was hit by a drunk driver in 1982, but nobody was arrested. Then Ernie Madsen Jr. stepped down. Was he poisoned? Now just this week, Carl died in a plane crash. This cannot be a coincidence. There's another entry that claims if you connect the dots in the pattern on the 5 pieces wrapper, it creates a Mayan ruby skull. Secret message meant to subliminally scare people away. The post before that has a link to a site that talks about how Earth has 4 corners simultaneous 4-day time cubes. The author of the site seems to agree. An entry from a few months ago claims that the owner of the site received an email from chrisraff75 at prodigy.net asking him to take down the site with faked proof that Ernie Madsen Jr. actually had a heart condition and wasn't poisoned. The owner claims that although the proof looks quite credible, he knows that the proof was fake because he's an expert at creating fake evidence. Is that something that you really want to admit to? The first entry is from 1996 and has a blurry picture of the Root Tree Candy Company factory, seemingly taken by the website's author from behind a fence and through some trees. It seems that Operation RT-29 is real. I witnessed a helicopter land on February 29, 1996. I mean, that's a leap year, so February 29 does exist on that year. The website footer says all image and ideas by Thomas Overwood. Alright, let's look up Operation RT-29. Find more conspiracy websites. Some people out there claim that the root trees are changing the candy recipe to include more and more chemicals, and that this was done in cooperation with bad actors from an unknown government. They claim that due to a loophole in the calendar, it is possible to get away with nearly any crime on a leap day, so long as it isn't discovered until after the day's over, and that every 4 years on a leap year, the Roottrees Company hosts a meeting with foreign agents who conspire to poison our children. Their proof is that Roottrees candies contain polyglycerol polyricinoleate, an ingredient of the candy that wasn't there when it first released. And it is added in an attempt to addict people and eventually induce mind control. The website claims to sell pills that counteract this effect for children that have already eaten Roottrees candy in the past. An additional search for that drug that I don't want to say again, and it seems to be an emulsifier in chocolates approved by the FDA and widely used across many products. Okay. Thomas Overwood, who the hell are ya? Thomas Overwood seems to have a few different sites about mysterious deaths and curses. In addition to the Roottrees Curse website, you also find one about the truth behind Spirit Cola, which claims that Spirit really stands for Satan's Plague is returning in 2000, and that in the year 2000, anyone who has drunk Spirit Cola will die. Another website is Stock Markets and the Devil's Numbers, which claim if you multiply any stock numbers price by 666, then also multiply the current year by that same stock's price, then add those two numbers together and divide the entire total by the stock price, and finally subtract the current year, you'll always... Yeah, because you're literally just... Hold on, let me pull up a calculator right now. Someone name a stock. Costco. Alright, so hold on. What am I doing? Multiply any stock's price by 666. Alright. So Costco's price today is 1014.89. Multiply that by 666. We've got $675,916.74. Then also multiply the current year by that same stock's price. All right, so I need to open another calculator window. Current year by the same stock price. We're multiplying. Yeah, so 1014.89 times, let's see, the year, right? 2025. That's 2,055,152.25. All right, and then we grab a third calculator and we add these numbers together. Plus all right, then you divide the entire total by the stock price. 1014.89. That gives us 2,691. And finally subtract the current year. Minus 2025. Holy shit, guys. You'll never guess what number I got. Guys, I think this Thomas Overwood guy is onto something. let's see if we can get anything from Spirit Cola. Spirit Cola is a carbonated drink only found in the southern US. It comes in various flavors, including lemon, lime, and cherry. None of this seems to have anything to do with the Roottrees. Hold on, here's another crazy thing. Take your age, add 7. That's not... Holy shit, Blitz. Oh my god, you're so smart. Holy fuck. My age is 21. If I take that and add 7, you get 28, and that's not my age, guys. Conspiracy theory. Every number is connected to 666. That's crazy, Tato. Multiply it by 0, then add 666? No, there's no fucking way that works. Hold on, let me pull the calculator back up. Let's do the funny number. 69 times 0 plus... Holy fuck. Surely that doesn't work with other numbers, right? 420 times 0 plus 666. Oh my god, that's crazy. Alright, let's get out of this conspiracy hole. I don't think there's anything here. God, am I being, like... Is the guy employing me this Thomas Overwood guy? Okay, not Nicole Madsen, it's Nicole Smith. I have Clark Place. I have something wrong about Clark. I think it's probably the photo. Something's still here. Okay, there's a couple things that there could be here. But I think I'm gonna look for Ernie Roottree Jr. Maybe just Ernie Roottree? No. There is not an Ernie Roottree. Oh, hi, Melon. Still missing 4 of the notable root trees. Alright, what is on this campaign mailer? Because, like, I guess we'll start at the top. Who is Stephanie Jones? Yeah, all you missed was me diving down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole that led to nothing. From an election result page that Stephanie Jones, a candidate for city council, won her campaign on election day about a month ago. And no mention of the root trees in any articles about her. Stephanie also has a very bare bones website for her campaign. It's simply a picture of her campaign mailer, and underneath it says, "Be sure to read the full article in the Butler County Times." All right. Let's try that. 666 is in the chat. Yeah. Oh, Demon is here. Oh. Alright, here we are. Most recent mention of Stephanie Jones is a small report detailing the election results from last month's election. Stephanie apparently won her election. Let's find the full version of the newspaper clipping on the back of the campaign mailer. While most of it is unimportant, you do find the following. Stephanie Jones, born Stephanie Landon, until her marriage to local business owner Brian Jones, has lived in Butler County her whole life. Stephanie grew up in a home without a father. My mother and her partner, I essentially had an entirely female influence. Though she is a distant cousin of the Roottrees, her mother Carolyn, a local artist who has appeared on the front page of the Butler County Times in the past, has often come out and opposed to the corporation's policies regarding deforestation of indigenous trees to expand their maple farms. Unlike my mother, I'm not a fighter. I want to bring love to this world. Hello, Demon. So let's look up Carolyn Landon. Did not give me anything. Let's look up Brian Jones. Brian Jones is a famous athlete who broke a pole vaulting record in '54. He doesn't seem related to the Roottrees. If you're looking for a different Brian Jones, you may need to search for a more local resource. All right. There are many advertisements over the years, as well as a small article from 1995 about Jones Graphic and Print. The article is a piece about Brian Jones taking over his father's print company after 20 years. Brian seems to not have let it go to waste as a marketing opportunity during an interview portion. I've been in and out of that shop my whole life. My father taught me everything there is to know when it comes to getting the job done right and getting it done quick. We've been a printing staple of Butler County for years, and even when the Butler County Times uses us for their coupon pages a few times a year. Thanks, by the way. But still, whether you're a new client or one of our regulars, nothing will change. Come on down for the best price on bulk printing anywhere in the state of Pennsylvania. Search for us online. I designed the website myself. What is the... Okay, Carolyn's book is in the library. Jones Graphic and Print. Jones Graphic and Print is a company that, according to its website, has existed in Butler County for some time. The website seems fancy. It even has frames. The website lists the address, hours, and a few examples of clients and the type of work that was done for each. Stephanie Jones campaign mailers, Roottrees Candy Company, various banners and posters, Butler County Holiday Light Post banners, Miracle Network tour flyers, Roottrees Motors. Okay, that's a new offshoot. Butler County School District, Butler Summer Theater, web design. Come on in and get a quote today. Let's look at Roottrees Motors. You know, about the game overall. This is making me think, and I don't like it. And a hit for Roottrees Motors on the Jones Graphic and Print website, which you've already seen. You don't find any trace of them on the internet. As local business, they may be featured in other places. Maybe here? There we go! Roottrees Motors 1, 2, and 3. An ad for Roottrees Motors in the paper. Seems Roottrees Motors used to be called Wilkins Motors. An ad for Roottrees Motors has been run in every week's Butler County Times for many years. Recently has been changed to include a picture. 3 different unique versions of the ad have been added to my evidence. Alright. Wilkins Motors may have become Roottrees Motors, but we still promise it's the same family business. All that's different is we've joined the Sweeter family. Funny noises? Need new oil? Come on down, we'll fix her up. Call the fixers at 555 and fix her up. Right off I-72, take exit 23. So it seems like there was a marriage here. Like, the former owner of the Wilkins Motors married a Roottrees. Roottrees Motors, your local family mechanics servicing the entire Pittsburgh area. Funny noises? Need new oil? Coming down, we'll fix her up. Tessa Roottrees, our newest fixer, and all there is to know about cars from her Roottrees Motors parents. Okay. Alright. You seem interesting, Tessa Roottrees. That's on me. Honestly, I should have expected that. Let's just check the other Yeah, alright. I tried. Yeah, there's nothing from the first two. What if I make a shot in the dark? Hold on. Grab this photo. Let me put the name down first. That's a root tree. Mechanic. Okay, that's not the right spot for her. Actually, no, this wouldn't be the right spot. Get out of here. She'd be part of, like, this bottom generation. I want to say that she's an only child. Alright. Previous entry, you learned that Elias Roottrees had announced that Sam, an obscure relative, was to be included in family gatherings. Very out of character, Lauren writes, why Sam, many distant relatives I've never had met. After all, Granny had sisters and Granddad had a brother or two. I was told to trim their branches from the family tree. So why is Sam special? Nothing adds up, and I'm not the only one to realize. Angie summoned all of the next gens to a secret meeting in Zach's office. Gwen's in Paris, but the rest of us, including Miracle's boys, spent ages trying to unravel the mystery. None of us have even met Sam until Uncle Junior's wedding to Patsy last year. At the reception, when I asked who Sam was, Pop shushed me and said it was complicated. Nancy swore he saw Sam working alongside farmhands, EC, and John, when he used to drive past the old Anderson farm on his way to work. Upon hearing that, Zach checked the records and managed to confirm that all three are on the books. Eli, Miracle's youngest, not my brother, even chimed in. Apparently, when he was riding his mini bike alongside the farm a few weeks ago, Sam gave him some old tools and taught him how to make the bike's engine faster. None of us think that proper for a multitude of reasons, but Eli certainly seems thrilled. Okay. Tessa is Sam's daughter. And Eli Alright, this could be a couple. This could be Elias Jr., No, because that's Uncle Junior. Let's see, it says something in names. Okay, that's just Miracle's Eli. Eli's C. So not Eli C and not Eli Jr. So Eli M. I guess Farmer. Or they're the next generation. Okay, one of these other ones is another picture of Miracle. Right, because Miracle was blind, he'd have the sunglasses. You think the one on the left? No, I think he's the one wearing the sunglasses. I think this might be the other picture of Lauren. All right. Let's try to place these other ones. Grapefruit, elderberry, and mandarin. I think elderberry is going to be Eli Jr. Because they always mention Uncle Junior. Don't you look up. Vice Ritchie Jr.'s name is listed on a website about historical buildings in Butler County. He is listed alongside an old residence that has been preserved called Hunchtop House. Okay. Let's look for him in Butler Times. Oh, demon with a dungeon. Get me in on that shit. Small feature details a building that Elias Roottree Jr.'s architecture firm worked on Hunchtop House. Also mentions that Elias Jr. was Elias's oldest son. Okay. Fuck my theory then. Alright, also I've been drinking so much water because of my talking. I gotta run to the bathroom. Alright, I'm back. Okay. What was his job? We don't know what his occupation was. Oh, wait, he was an architect. So we just have G and M. Gwendolyn? Her name's been brought up a number of times. I think I fucked up the spelling. Nope, there's just nothing on her. Nothing in Butler County. Business Watch. There's nothing for this one. There's one thing left for me to get from here. But I don't think I'm missing the piece to get this missing piece. Second cousin Ernie Jr. They're the same great-grandparents, but not the same grandparents. So... okay. Yeah, well, that's not fucking helpful, is it? Yeah, alright. I have all of the notables down and confirmed. So I don't know what 4 pieces I'm missing from here. Let me go back to WRTD. See if there's something other than the conspiracy. See, her mother is... her last name is Cosell. It seems everyone has something to complain about. Gwen, as an only child, complained of loneliness. I told her that being expected to watch after 3 younger brothers didn't feel like a blessing, but it fell on deaf ears. During the summer, where I went to stay with her and Aunt Margot, I hoped she would be the sister I never had and that I'd do the same for her, and tried to dye my hair blonde to fit in with the 2 of them. What a mess. But she just complained. To her, I was the lucky cousin. Now she's off living the glamorous life while I'm stuck here with Clark. Just admit seeing her everywhere contributes to my unhappiness. Her visage stares at me, even now, from my coffee table. She gets to be in starlit, and tell tales of how she gallivants around the world, kissing the likes of Harrison Lane and Wild Bill Williams. She's the first Roottrees woman to be anything other than a housewife, and I am jealous. If I were not a single mother, could I make my own way in this world? But I'm off topic. A girl with all the luck in the world was jealous of me. And now, though I have been undoubtedly burdened by terrible tragedy, I am also lucky to be born into a family that can support me for eternity. I can raise a child without worry, unlike countless other widows. If any of them were to hear me complaining, they would rightfully scoff me just like I do at Gwen. Okay. So let's look up this starlet. Seems like a magazine to me. Starlet, it's been added. Alright. Starlet appears to have many articles related to Hollywood actors and actresses from the olden days. I'll just copy it from... When Roottrees was often in starlet, most mentions were around the time of her divorce in 1958 from Wild Bill Williams, and all the gossip is speculative at best. However, there is an interview from 1955 where she talked about her last name. She answered, "The power of a name is undeniable. My grandfather constantly preached the importance of family names and honoring them. My father decided to bless me with a famous name. There's nothing wrong with Cornwall, but Roottrees has power. My husband similarly goes by Wild Bill. It's an infamous name he repurposed for himself because he didn't have the benefit of being born with a famous one. But Wild, combined with the alliteration Williams, is incredibly memorable. I know you love to keep up with my husband, so consider this a starlet exclusive about both of us. Wild Bill and I have a child on the way, and we're sticking with Roottrees for the last name, not William. But we also plan to lean into alliteration. That's how we'll honor both of our family names for the next generation." Alright, let's look up this Wild Bill Williams. Information on the website about old films that are not yet available. Yep, this website. Leading man of some non-notable movies. In the 50s, he appeared in an adventure movie called Fortune Favors the Grave, which is yet to be released for home audiences. You can find any additional information about the film. He was known for his good looks and off-screen romances, specifically with blondes. He was married 4 different times to 4 different actresses. There's a famous Hollywood rumor that he even approached Marilyn Monroe at a party, that she was already aware of his reputation. Alright, I was looking for his name. So let's look up Wild Bill. Let's see. Wild Bill Williams was mentioned many times throughout the magazine's lifespan, with stories and gossip about who he had been seen with in public, blondes mostly. 2 specific passages stand out. The first mentions one of his roles was under his real name, Walter Forsyth. Alright. That is a name we can work with. Alright, and they've got 2 sons. Second passage is an interview. Although he doesn't mention her by name, you figure from the context he's talking about Gwyn Roottrees. An apology to all the ladies out there. I'm actually involved with someone. Earlier this year I did a friend a favor. He was directing a war movie and asked me to play a small part. But you know, that son of a bitch cut me from the picture the day I was supposed to shoot. I'm just ribbing, it wasn't his fault. Apparently the studio didn't want to pay for a star of my caliber. I still got the last laugh. I found true love. She spent most of the film crying. She was playing a soldier's wife. But even through the tears, she was incredible. Okay, but what are the names of their sons? They said alliteration. So we're looking for our Roottrees name. Robert and Ronald. I don't know who's the older and who's the younger, or what the dotted line means. See, we got ads in 3 minutes. Our wife's name is Debbie. Probably Deborah. Show up if you look the names up. Robert and Ronald. That's a good idea, Tato. Nothing for Robert. It's probably going to be the same for Ronald. Let's check them out in Starlit. Nothing for Ronald. No, nothing for Robert. But we don't know what their jobs are. What song is this? I don't know. Groove Grove. Pretty sure this is used in KSP. Neat. Alright, I need to be getting like important people down. Alright. Clearly I did not know our true family history when I wrote this. I didn't even know Sam was a Rootree. All of my doubts were ill-founded. She's a fine woman. Had she the chance to grow up with us, Sam might have been the sister figure Gwyn never was. Ernie and the kids are lucky to have her, and her children seem eager to help the family in their own ways, and that's ads. Sorry, I was not paying attention and absolutely reading manga during the ad. Why did I just get a text? Oh, dang. That's actually kind of an important text. All right. Ernie and the kids are lucky to have her, and her children seem eager to help the family in their own ways. Ernie Jr. has been learning the day-to-day from Zach. It's been a long, long time since any real Rootree was as excited and interested in the actual candy as Ernie. As a bonus, Gwyneth has the green thumb of her mother and her adopted grandfather. I'm most ashamed of is not figuring it all out myself. Sam's a spitting image of Patsy with her jet black hair and green eyes. She does have the thick glasses Patsy did, of course. But I guess that skips a generation. Her children have that covered. It's hard to explain the look on Pop's face when they read the farm's operations would pass to Samantha Rootree for as long as she was willing. Flashbacks to when Zach was made president. Mother reframed it a bit to calm him down. Sam wouldn't receive any candy money after all, and was essentially inheriting the right to rule over the peasants for eternity. Pop warned us away from that farm for years. I never met EC in person, but Pop once referred to him as a confirmed bachelor. And I suspect that's why he kept us from there. Sam had to grow up in house with him and his roommate, Mr. Miller. I'm not sure Sam will ever forgive Uncle Junior or Patsy for abandoning her to that life. If I were her, I might never forgive them either. But even so, she seems to blame us more than the two of them. She has no problem with us next gen, but she has a palpable hatred for the Five Pieces, and Elias and Gwyneth. Alright. I think my brain is melting. I don't know if I can push this for 20 more minutes, guys. I want to get at least, the next tier, so I can leave on a cliffhanger. See what has the most. Campaign mailer still has the most. Who is CM? What names do we have that could be CM? Carolyn Morden. Focus, search, intuition. The icons in the magnifying glass provide more detail as to the importance of the search. Something on this page can help solve a blood relative. Okay. Carolyn is listed on a few art websites without much detail. She seems to be associated with a movement called P-Flag. Organization founded in the 70s. The acronym stands for Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gays. Okay. Sounds based. New art websites. What if we take her to... Butler County Times. All right, hold on. We got something. You find a cover story about local art installations, including one by Carolyn Morden. There isn't much about Carolyn as a person. This is mostly a listing of art in Butler County. She seems to get top billing. Accompanying the story, there's an image of Carolyn standing beside a large metal sculpture of a mermaid. It is captioned, Carolyn standing next to her sculpture Atlantis' Burden. This sculpture is one of many works in her upcoming book, Self-Portrait, Art and the Beauty of Woman. True. Women are pretty. According to a quote further down, Atlantis' burden is meant to symbolize a society split by indecision over whether women should be equals or something to protect. The picture on the front page has been added to your evidence. That's... Carolyn standing next to her sculpture Atlantis' Burden. Alright. Something on here directly solves a blood relative. Alright. Dedicated to Eloise and Stephanie. Mostly black and white pictures of Carolyn's art. The centerpiece is a series of full-color nude self-portraits at different ages. Alright, I was not expecting that. They certainly have not been added to your evidence. Okay, thank you. In the intro, Carolyn talks about influences. She was one of the youngest in her generation, and in her late teens, she felt betrayed when her sister, Gwendolyn, and cousin Bonnie gave up on dreams to settle for boring men. She especially dislikes her brother-in-law, Dr. Wilson, who she calls completely bogus. Their marriages led her to double down on her passions, art and the environment. She even married a man who was the opposite of boring, which was an overcorrection. She comes out strongly against the Roottrees Company's effect on the local environment and rues how she was not able to convince her father Zach to make changes to policy. She also explains that her marriage to Mark led to the most volatile moments in her life, all negative. The only good thing he ever gave her was a daughter. Leaving them all behind for good has pushed her to pursue her true loves, art and the beauty of woman. Okay. Gwendolyn is her sister. Do I have Gwendolyn on here? I don't think I do. Is the game going? Burb, my brain is melting, and it's a miracle that my headphones are keeping it in right now. We have to place... I think Gwendolyn was part of the original 5. Aunt's Gwendolyn. wait. I wanted to look at the 5 pieces. Guess I'll put Gwendolyn here. No, Gwendolyn is her sister. I haven't touched like this half almost at all. Jesus. Yeah, alright. I wanted to get to the next story beat, but I don't think I have a safe to turn. Okay. I don't think I have the brain to continue. God, I'm gonna need a brain massage. Let's go see if I have someone to go raid. I'm ending it a little early, but I don't care. Brain hurty. Raid me? Tato, you're not live right now. Cryo is live right now. We could go raid Cryo. Let's go raid Cryo. He's currently playing some Valorant. I'm gonna go rest my brain. Bye-bye.